On a cruise ship, the best student in school, Tion, confesses to Ellen, the school goddess. Everyone cheers them on. Meanwhile, an uninterested student, Tion, watches Master Talk's wilderness adventure vlogs. Just then, the weather turns stormy, and everyone panics and goes back to the cabins. Tion wonders who mentioned Titanic before. He knows it is too late to go back to the cabins and runs off somewhere. He tries to grab a float, and the ship capsizes. Everything turns dark and the wilderness system activates. Tion got washed up on the shore and woke up. He survived, but he can't see anyone on the island. There might be a rescue team, but he must hold out first. He discovers coconuts in the area, and he is glad that he can use the knife now that he bought after falling in love with Master Talk's vlogs. As he drinks coconut water, he remembers hearing a system when he was unconscious. Just then, the system presents the novice package. He gets surprised by the system window and clicks on the package. He acquired 2 books about common plants and animals. The books got absorbed in his head, and Tion gained some weird knowledge. He notices that he can see the information on the coconuts. Just then, he hears a loud scream and realizes that there is someone else on the island. Tion runs in the direction of the scream and discovers Ellen being attacked by a venomous snake. Ellen screams for help. Tion grabs the snake and slams it against a tree. He then tells Ellen to cover herself first. Ellen gets embarrassed. She feels thankful to Tion but wonders if she is not attractive because he didn't even look at her. They both introduce themselves to each other, and Ellen is glad she got to meet a companion from the shipwreck. Later, they eat coconuts and drink the water. Tion asks if Ellen has a phone, but she claims that all her stuff is gone. However, Ellen is optimistic that rescue teams will come. Tion tells her first to prepare a fire to drive away insects and snakes. Ellen wonders how they can start a fire, and Tion suggests looking for something useful on the beach. They have been walking for an hour, but the beach is too clean. While Tion is thinking, Ellen finds something. She discovers a plastic bottle and plans to throw it away. Tion stops her. Ellen wonders how it will be useful. Tion gathers some wood and grass. He uses the bottle with water like a magnifying glass, and he successfully starts a fire. Later at night, Ellen wonders if they are going to starve to death while waiting for rescue. Tion reassures her that rescue will come in a few days, and they can survive for a week with the resources they have. He needs to lie in order to calm Ellen's mind. Tion then brings out the snake and starts butchering it. Ellen asks if it is their dinner, and Tion confirms. Ellen swears not to eat it. Tion cooks the snake meat and later eats it while exclaiming that it is delicious. Ellen tries to ignore her, but Tion keeps saying that it is delicious. Ellen stops him and grabs a stick of snake meat. She happily eats it. Tion is glad to encounter the snake and wonders what happened to the system. Just then, the system grants him points for lighting a bonfire, surprising Tion in the process. He notices that only he can see the system. Ellen worries, and Tion wonders if he can tell her about the system. He thinks he might be dissected and experimented on once people find out about the system. He checks more details and sees that the system is like those in games. He wonders where to use the points, and an exchange store appears. As he scrolls, he notices something that might be useful. Almost everything is expensive, and he doesn't have that many points yet. He closes the exchange store and lies down on the ground. He plans to collect stranded fish and shrimp to give their bodies nutrients. He then notices that Ellen is already sleeping and plans to talk about it tomorrow. Few hours later, Tion wakes up due to the cold weather. He sees Erin shivering and he wakes her up. Tion is glad that she's fine. Erin gets surprised and panics. Tion tries to explain, but Erin keeps shouting about her misunderstandings. Tion turns around and tells her to get near the fire to avoid freezing to death. Erin feels the coldness and gets near the fire. Tion finds the temperature between day and night weird. The two only got thin clothes considering they were cruising near the equator. The shivering Tion then suggests that Erin and she hug each other to survive the night. However, she disagrees. Even with the campfire, Erin still feels cold and almost numb. She worries about getting close to a boy. However, she sees Tion, her savior, shivering. She stands up and tells Tion to close his eyes. Tion wonders why she is undressing, and Erin embarrassingly mentions the scenes she saw in movies. Tion claims it only happens when you have thick clothes. They have thin clothes that are enough to transfer heat to each other. Tion then wraps his arms around Erin and they find it warmer now. The next day, Erin wakes up and sees that it is already daybreak. She finds the scenery beautiful. Seeing that it is low tide, Tion runs to find stranded crabs and shrimp. Despite Erin struggling to catch crabs, they manage to acquire breakfast. Later, Tion starts preparing the crabs. Erin wonders why he throws away the carapace with meat and roe. Tion explains that crabs are cold, which can make your stomach uncomfortable. While grilling their catch, Tion suggests building a refuge in the forest. The beach is colder at night and they are at risk. Tion also mentions that the forest has more resources. Before leaving for the forest, they need to have some water and leave a signal for help. They look up at some coconuts and Tion removes his belt. He turns it into a bipedal rope and uses it to climb the tree. He tells Ellen to get away and starts plucking out the coconuts. He is glad the fresh coconuts got more water and pours it into the bottle they found. Tion tells Ellen to throw away the coconuts she is carrying. Ellen finds it a waste and Tion tells her that she will vomit if she drinks too much coconut water and has diarrhea. They left the beach with a help signal. The two traverse the forest and take a break afterward. While replenishing their liquids, Ellen asks Tion why he keeps observing small bushes along the way. Tion then mentions that the snake from yesterday usually lives in freshwater. Erin gets excited knowing that there is freshwater nearby. She wonders how they can find one, and Tion points out a path free of grasses and branches. Ellen realizes that animals are like humans, so the animals might have taken the path to get water. As they continue traveling, Ellen asks if Tion is a person who loves outside activities. Tion claims he is someone who loves outside activities without practical experience. Just then, Ellen hears something. Tion hears it too and drags Ellen somewhere. They find a free-flowing body of fresh water. Ellen gets excited and Tion washes his face with the water. Ellen also picks up the water and Tion stops her. The two later move a bit further and Ellen suggests taking refuge on the riverbank. However, Tion reminds her that wild animals will bump into them. They find a flat area, and Tion tells Erin to collect large leaves and branches while he finds wood for the campfire and tent building. Tion finds some dried wood and quickly makes a campfire. He remembers passing by some trees that he can use for a tent. However, he only got a knife. He remembers something and goes to the riverbank to find a rock, which he turns into an axe later. He uses the stone axe to cut down a small tree. Later he ties up the small trees he cut and returns to their refuge. Ellen greets him with some banana leaves she found. She claims there is a banana field near the riverbank. They now have materials so they start constructing their tent. Tion plans to make a one-sided tent. He sharpens a tree branch and sticks it to the ground. He finishes building the tent but Ellen looks disappointed. Tion claims it is helpful to expose the fire's warmth in their direction. Just then the system rewards him points for building a trash tent. He laughs, seeing the system laugh at his work. Now that they have a tent, the next problem is food. The seafood and coconuts are quite far from their current location. He then plans to visit the banana field Ellen discovered. However, their new problem is jungle mosquitoes that can cause fever if bitten too much. Ellen asks for help and Tion attracts the mosquitoes with a whistle. He burns some leaves so he can smoke out the mosquitoes. Their condition is better now and Tion suggests keeping watch on wild animals. However, Ellen is already fast asleep. She lays her down and decides to keep watch instead. He uses the time to make some rope using tree bark. Morning comes and Ellen wakes up from her refreshing sleep. She finds the rope Tion made and the latter threatens her to do the night watch next. She apologizes and offers to do the night watch but Tion doesn't trust her after seeing that she can easily sleep while sitting. He then asks where the banana field is and she points out the direction. Tion notices the nearby bushes and discovers raspberries. Ellen tastes them but they are too sour. It seems like they are not ripe yet. They later find the banana field and Tion ties a rope to a rock. He throws it at the banana stalk and tries to pull it down. The banana tree breaks instead and falls on Tion. He pulls out a banana and offers it to Ellen. Because Ellen refused, he peeled the banana and ate it himself. However, the banana is hard and Ellen mentions that it might be raw. Tion claims that they can't eat it because it is a wild banana with huge seeds. Seeing as the tree hasn't gone into mutation, the bananas are inedible. Tion then suggests eating meat instead. Ellen wonders what it is and Tion shows the banana leaf with a worm. He claims that the banana worm has 6 times the protein content of a buffalo's meat. They return to their camp and they grill the worms. They ate them and Ellen enjoyed them. She finds it more satisfying than the snake meat. She then discovers Tion changing the bottle's shape. He claims it is for catching fish. He saw some fish in the stream and he can use the bottle to trap them. He explains how the trap works. The system awards him some points for creating the trap. Ellen wonders what to use now to drink water and Tion suggests using coconut shells. Ellen worries that the coconut shell will break when boiled. Tion suggests using heated stones in it. He plans to leave the trap first before setting out to the seashore. They leave the trap with banana worms in a shady area. Ellen suddenly smells something and walks away while Tion finds the smell familiar. Ellen finds something and they are bushes of mint. Tion decides to get some to repel the mosquitoes in their camp. Ellen gets surprised by the new knowledge and starts collecting a bunch of them. After getting a lot of mints they return to their camp and plan the mints around the camp. The two sat down and Tion told Ellen to take her time to rest. Tion creates a stone hammer and gets system points. He realizes he can get more points by making survival tools. Ellen wonders why he is happy. Later they discover the coconuts they left on the seashore have been opened. He notices how the coconuts are broken by a strong force not belonging to a human being. Ellen gets scared thinking it might be tigers, but Tion confirms that they don't eat coconut. He sees a trail and thinks of other coconut-eating creatures present. Ellen remembers the coconut crabs. He points out the small trail that a crab can leave. They follow the trail and discover the coconut crab climbing another coconut tree. Ellen drools at the massive claws of the crab. They prepare to catch it and Ellen notices that it has already come down. Ellen hurries but Tion tells her not to worry because it has nowhere to go. Ellen gets scared seeing Tion's expression. Ellen can't believe a coconut crab can crack open the coconut like a banana. Tion menacingly approaches it and grabs the opened coconut. The crab angrily opens another coconut and Tion grabs the coconut again. The crab gets mad and Ellen realizes Tion's real motive. Tion then easily ties down the coconut crab. They later walk back but Ellen requests a break. She mentions that it is already the 3rd day and there are still no rescue teams. Tion gets worried. However, Ellen reassures herself that it might take them a week instead. She walks again and Tion also worries. They return to the stream and discover that their fish trap worked. He tells Ellen to return to the camp while he prepares the fish. He plans to place the trap again and the system rewards him with points for catching fish. He already had enough points to buy something from the shop. He returns to the camp and discovers Ellen building a stove with rocks to cook the coconut crab. They cook the crab and eat it satisfyingly. Tion goes to sleep first and he will change to night watch with Ellen at midnight. Ellen nervously does her night watch and suddenly a hand taps her. Surprised, she tries to hit Tion with the hammer. She claims that she hasn't called him yet. However, Tion tells her to get some sleep already. Ellen goes to sleep and Tion wants to use this chance to check the shop. But first Tion tries to boil water using a heated stone. However, the ashes make the water unclear. Still, boiling it will remove the bacteria and the mint is also helpful to keep him awake. Just then, Ellen screams in her dream. She dreams of the rescue team rescuing them. It looks like she is really not a positive person at all. Tion thinks Ellen hypnotized herself to get over the tragic accident. If no one comes within a few days, then she will despair. Tion then checks the shop and discovers books that he can buy with his current points. He chooses the book about manufacturing tools and the knowledge is immediately delivered to his head. Tion quickly learns things and he can use them to live on the island longer. He then notices the lucky wheel and gets a free spin for his first purchase. The wheel doesn't have a free space and a prize is guaranteed. He spins the wheel and wins a prize that is worth 10,000 points in the shop. He gets to choose to use it now and is scared that he is lucky today despite being an unlucky person. He chooses to use the prize later. Morning comes and Ellen wakes up. She looks for Tion and the latter arrives with freshly caught fish. Ellen tells him to tell her the next time he leaves. While the fish are being cooked, Ellen shyly tells Tion not to go to the stream. Tion then advises her not to pollute the water. Ellen shouts that she will only take a shower. Tion realizes that they haven't taken a bath since being stranded on the island and he can smell himself. He then shouts at Ellen that he will go look for other resources. Tion looks around and finds wild oyster mushrooms. He is glad that he has the system to identify resources around him. However, some resources don't appear in the book he bought from the store, so he is not sure if they are edible. Tion finds a rabbit. He uses his hammer as a distraction and tries to catch it. However, the rabbit is so fast. He remembers Ellen and goes back to the campsite. Just then he hears Ellen scream. He quickly runs over and Ellen claims that there is a snake. Tion runs and grabs the creature which turns out to be an eel. Ellen then tells him to get out. Tion is more focused on getting a new type of food to eat. Ellen finishes her bath and sees Tion waiting for her. She tells him to stop staring and Tion blushing claims that she looks beautiful. Ellen gets embarrassed and returns first to their camp. She gets mad at herself for getting shy over Tion's words. Tion also didn't expect to utter such words. Tion then removes his clothes and plans to check for more eels. He finds holes in the wet mud and covers one of them. He can't use his bare hands because some crabs or poisonous snakes might also live in the holes. He remembers grabbing a water snake instead of an eel when he was young. Eels are attracted to water grass. So Tion uses a water grass stalk to lure out the eel. He feels a bite and pulls out the eel. He later returns to the camp with more eels. Ellen worries that they can't do everything at once. Tion suggests smoking the meat to preserve it. He smokes the eel so the meat can last for weeks or months. Ellen asks if she can help with anything because Tion is the one who does almost everything. Tion will teach Ellen how to make ropes out of tree bark so they can finish the windshield. He leaves Ellen to check the trap in the stream. The trap can only catch 2 or 3 fish each time. He makes a small lake beside the stream to store the fish he catches so they won't worry about food. Night comes and the two cook the eel meat with berries. Ellen takes a bite and drowns in the appetizing taste. Tion finds her weird now. 2 days later Tion returns to where he got the mushrooms. They already ran out of eels and he needs to catch some wild rabbits today. In a flashback, Tion breaks the old windshield to create a bigger one. With Ellen's help they made a better version that feels safer to live in. Tion tries to recall the path where the wild rabbit ran. He tries to find a place with less grass and finds trees with burrows. He covers the holes he found and leaves 2 open. He places burning horseshoe fungi near the holes to smoke the rabbits out. Just then a rabbit comes out and Tion easily catches it. However, it is an offspring. Another rabbit runs out and Tion recalls that rabbits live in herds. He checks the hole and discovers more small rabbits. He catches everything and brings them back to their camp. Ellen gets excited over the rabbits. Tion is impressed that Ellen made a lot of ropes. He then claims to butcher them, but Ellen disagrees because they are too cute to eat. However, Ellen claims it is better to fatten them up first before they get eaten. Tion didn't expect that side of Ellen. She knows that they don't have a choice but to kill them for survival. Tion later butchers the biggest one and sets aside the fur for future use. The two eat dinner and find the rabbit meat stinky. Tion asks Ellen why she is cheerful and Ellen claims that the next day is the seventh day. She still thinks that a rescue team will come and Tion tries to act happy too. They are done eating and Ellen wonders what Tion is doing. Tion plans to start a fire using a different method. Based on the camping book he got from the store, there are various ways of starting a fire. He tries using a wooden bow and he is successful in starting a fire. The next morning they leave the camp and arrive at the shore. Tion knows they will be waiting until night so he starts preparing. Dusk comes and Ellen asks Tion why the rescue team is not yet here. She starts despairing and Tion gets worried. Ellen grabs his hand and cries out that they will die on the island by themselves. She continues to cry as she despairs. Tion slaps her and Ellen asks why he did that. Tion tells her to cry everything out. Ellen hugs her while crying out loud. Tion tells her not to worry because he is with her. The night passes by. The next morning Ellen slaps Tion as revenge for the previous night. She also thanked Tion but Tion didn't hear her. She then tries to change the topic and asks him to check the low tide. Tion corrects her saying that it is not yet time. They have a meal first while waiting. Ellen read in a book that a person missing for 2 years is considered legally dead. Tion mentions that a rescue team will give up after a month of no results. Ellen gets mad at him for being negative. Tion then suggests creating a boat and escaping the island themselves. Ellen thinks Tion is cool right now. Tion then tells her to get some seafood now that it is low tide. They later return to the camp and Tion is glad that the rabbits didn't run away. They cook the seafood they collected. Tion tells Ellen to eat first but she must not throw away the shells because they will be useful later. The seafood is only temporary and Tion must find another source of food. Ellen can notice Tion's darkened eye bags. Tion later takes a nap and asks Ellen to wake him up at midnight to switch to night watching. Ellen thinks it is her fault that Tion didn't get enough sleep last night. The morning comes and Tion is surprised. He gets mad at Ellen for not waking her up. But Ellen just wants him to fully recover from his sleep. Tion then tells the sleep-deprived Ellen to rest for the day. Tion sets out to find more resources. Tion has been searching for 2 hours but he finds nothing. He then decides to go to the shore instead to get seafood again. Just then he notices something. He runs and comes across a bamboo forest. Bamboo is a multifunctional plant. Tion has a hard time cutting down a bamboo tree. He brings one down and remembers that there might be bamboo shoots nearby. He cuts the bamboo into pieces and loads them up. He returns to the camp and Ellen tells him to eat what she cooked. Tion stares at a burnt fish and Ellen asks how it is. It doesn't taste good but Tion says otherwise. Ellen tries it and she complains about how hard and bitter it is. Ellen apologizes for wasting food and Tion claims that it is still edible. Tion tells her to eat the oysters instead but Ellen keeps eating the burnt fish. The night deepens and Ellen asks what Tion is doing with the bamboo. He plans to make a fish trap to replace the plastic bottle. Ellen then helps cut some bamboo to create water bottles. Tion is glad that Ellen is willing to work and finish it on her own. Based on the survival book, Tion creates a fish trap and he gets points for it. Ellen shows what she made and Tion compliments her work. She asks if Tion has anything to do tomorrow and she plans to go with him to help. Tion is impressed with how Ellen changed and plans to make good use of her. The next day the two go to the bamboo forest. Ellen finds the place next to the bamboo forest more suitable for a camp. However, Tion points out that food is their priority right now. Ellen is tasked with looking for bamboo shoots and she finds a bunch of them. After she collected bundles of them, she discovered a herd of wild boars. She stays silent and runs over to Tion. Tion gets surprised and Ellen points in the direction of the boars. Tion grabs Ellen's hands and tells her to run and leave the place quickly. Though they are carnivores, wild boars can attack ferociously. However, more wild boars appear on the side where they came out. Tion signals Ellen to be quiet but the wild boars smell them. The two then quickly ran away. However, the boars are fast. Ellen is tired but she can't hold back Tion. Ellen tells Tion to go and leave her. Tion gets mad at the movie glitch /U00E9. He then faces the herd of boars and shouts out loud. The boars freeze in place and Tion continues making loud noises. It works well and he throws his stone axe at the herd of boars. The herd runs away and Tion falls to the ground in relief. Ellen gets worried and Tion tells her that he is fine and they need to move now. Tion notices a boar left alone and notices that it is wounded. A boar left alone will feel terrified and become more aggressive. Tion throws his axe at the boar and baits it. He tells Ellen to go back to their camp. Tion then activates his skill and he gets faster like a leopard. He gets far away but the skill drains too much of his energy. He falls to the ground thinking that he escaped from the boar already. Just then, birds create a ruckus nearby. Tion wonders if it is the boar and yes it is. Tion gets surprised and climbs a nearby tree. As he feels lucky that the boar can't climb, the boar starts striking the tree. Tion grabs properly at the tree until the boar gets tired and stops. As it walks away, Tion remembers how precious pork is. He jumps off the tree and confronts the boar. The boar charges at him which Tion quickly dodges. The boar hits the tree making it unconscious. Tion finishes it off but the boar had too much vitality. Tion continues attacking it until it falls dead. He receives points for hunting the wild boar. The wild boar is too heavy so he plans to get it back the next day after resting and recovering. He hopes that no other predators will find the boar. Meanwhile, Ellen is in a hurry to make a stone axe to help Tion. She rips her dress and collects ashes. Tion asks what she is doing and Ellen claims that ashes can blind the boars so they can escape. Ellen then realizes that she has been talking to Tion and he appears with a fish in hand. Ellen looks glad and hugs Tion. She was afraid that she wouldn't see him again. She notices that he is wet and he claims it is a long story. It got awkward when Tion started stripping. Ellen tells him that they are not kids anymore and reminds him to dry his clothes first. Just then, Tion flashes himself to Ellen. Ellen quickly covers her eyes and Tion claims he was wearing underpants. That night Ellen feels bad about leaving the bamboo shoots behind. Tion tells her that he killed the boar. Ellen worries about encountering the boars again and Tion can only think of making a bow and arrow to fight back. The next morning Tion quickly returns to the boar he killed and discovers that other animals found it. Luckily, there are more parts left. He notices a scratch mark from another animal. He starts butchering the boar and brings it back to the camp with bamboo. Meanwhile, Ellen is making a needle from a rabbit's bone and Tion surprises her. Ellen gets mad and notices the meat Tion brought back. Ellen wonders how he will use the fat and Tion claims that it can be used to make a fat-based oil. However, they don't have a container. Tion then asks Ellen for help making one. He plans to do pottery and he feels lucky that the clay nearby is usable. He remembers the steps from the survival book. He tries to make one but it looks like something unusable. He throws it away. He then makes a small bowl and discovers Ellen made better looking ones. He then asks her to make one big enough for cooking. Tion makes a kiln for drying the clay until it gets dark. During dinner Tion feels glad that they won't have food problems for the next month. Ellen notices Tion smiling and claims that he is just happy to be alive. Tion compliments Ellen's ability to mend. Ellen claims she must learn how because they don't have any clothes to change into. Tion then tells her not to worry because they can change their clothes soon. The next day Ellen wonders if they can actually brush their teeth with the wood ash. Tion mentions some science shit stating that it's a good substitute for real toothpaste. Later they begin preparing the pottery bowls and Tion mentions that it will take 5 hours to harden. This surprises Ellen and Tion tells her that they must control the heat properly. Otherwise the pottery will develop cracks. After the first batch of bowls is completed the success rate is disappointingly low prompting Tion to think of new techniques they could try instead. Later that night during Ellen's shift the success rate gradually improves, indicating that they could make more if they could control the heat. The next day as rain is approaching, Tion cooks the pork fat while Ellen wonders why he is adding water to it. Tion explains that water helps reduce the risk of the fat getting overburned. They also prepare by grinding clam shells into powder to make soap. Tion emphasizes the importance of making soap since there are no drugs on the island, and if they get sick it could be life-threatening. Using soap reduces that risk. As they let the soap formulate throughout the day, they prepare for the impending downpour. Luckily the duo has finished building the tents, otherwise they wouldn't have anywhere to stay. Tion opens the system, and with the pottery and soap he made, he now has over 6,000 points. However, he still needs another 500 points to buy the power of any creatures. Ellen appears and questions Tion about what he's thinking, but he reflects on the situation and asks her what took her so long. He also asks if the soap works. Ellen calmly mentions that it does the job and expresses their luck in having the soap. Tion prepares to make the bamboo bow and attempts to create a multi-layered structured bow to improve efficiency. He places some stumps in the ground as a makeshift mold since he has no other options. Suddenly the sky begins to thunder and the duo quickly rushes into the tent together and goes to sleep. During the night Tion wakes up upon hearing a sound and quickly wakes up Ellen. He tells her that they have to disband the tent and urges her to climb up the tree. Ellen wonders what's going on when suddenly a group of wild boars run through their campsite. Ellen wonders if a few of the boars are dead. As it appears they are wounded, but it turns out they are just taking a nap. The rain continues to pour and the boars are not leaving yet. Tion uses his shoe to distract the boars and they run away. Tion tells Ellen to get down and the girl slips down. She falls on Tion. Look at Tion blushing. Morning comes and Tion is surprised to get 3,000 points for surviving the rainy night. The two start fixing their camp. Ellen is glad that the rabbits are still caged. Tion hopes the wood sticks they have will dry sooner. Later Tion asks Ellen to remove her underwear. He plans to wash clothes and bathe at the same time, but Ellen refuses. Tion notices the stream's water is higher than before. Luckily the first trap is still usable. As the clothes must first dry, Tion wears leaves in the meantime. That night Ellen worries that the boars will return and Tion offers to do night watch first. Seeing Ellen feel unsafe, Tion wants to make more weapons to fight the boars. He creates the bow and uses a boar's muscle as a string. Tion proceeds to make arrows. He burns the tips of wood sticks and sharpens them. He can also use sharp stones as arrowheads. He gets points as he finishes the bow and arrows. Tion now has enough points for a new skill. Between speed and strength he chooses the former and he now feels stronger than before. The next day Tion suggests working on the ceramics after the boars destroyed them. Tion and Ellen remake the ceramics and their skills have improved. Tion practices using the bow but his aiming skills stink. He keeps training until his skills improve. Following that, Tion goes deep into the woods. He notices some tadpoles and he finds the ecosystem interesting. He later picks up some bamboo shoots. He hears bird sounds and discovers wild chickens. He shoots an arrow but he misses. He notices that the chickens are not afraid of him and don't move. He swears not to miss a shot, but he didn't hit them even once. He tries one more time and finally hits one. He hits two more but he has already used all of his arrows. The other chickens ran away after that. That night the two had chicken soup. Ellen is overjoyed with the new menu. Tion also finds it tasty with bamboo shoots, however he claims that it will be better with salt. Ellen gets excited and suddenly remembers that they are in the middle of nowhere. Tion then tells her that they will go to the beach the next day to make some. They went to the beach and prepared to boil seawater. While the water is boiling, the two make a sundial so they can keep track of their time. They successfully created one and Tion asked Ellen to watch the shadow while he checked the seawater. Seeing the salt still wet, Tion dries it out under the blazing sun. They made enough for half a month but it is full of impurities. Tion prepares another pot of seawater to boil and Ellen calls for his attention. Tion asks for another bamboo. He knows that crude salt is not meant for consumption. He plans to saturate and purify the salt. Using his survival knowledge, Tion made a filtration device. However, it took a long time. Ellen feels overjoyed with the dinner again. Tion comments on how Chinese cuisine should have seasonings. He laughs at Ellen for overreacting. They also realize that it had been 20 days since they came to the island. Ellen wonders what kind of boat Tion is planning to make. He needs a fishing boat that will help sustain them during the trip. Ellen suggests making a better tent first, and Tion claims it is better to find another place to camp. 4 days later, Tion finds a meadow with a nearby cave. He stays alert, thinking that something is living inside. He fires an arrow but nothing reacts. He goes inside and discovers animal remains. Just then Tion senses an attack and dodges it using his cheetah speed. A panda attacked him and Tion wondered why it looked a bit strange. He tries to distract it with a bamboo branch, but the panda just crushes it. Tion wonders what is happening and why it looks different compared to a normal panda. Tion runs away and climbs a tree. As a Chinese, he hesitates to attack it, but he needs to take over the cave. The fired arrow just bounces off its fur and the panda discovers Tion. He quickly keeps his distance and uses a rock arrow this time. It works, but the panda is still fine despite the bleeding. It confronts a surprised Tion. Tion dodges its attack and runs away again. That night, Ellen suggests ignoring the panda and the cave and looking for another area to move to. Tion plans to use his arrow belt's tie to make an arrowhead. They need a furnace to melt the iron, so they start to plan to make one. They created a wind fan and the two started blowing air into the furnace to melt the iron. They manage to melt the iron and Ellen falls out of fatigue. Tion pours the melted iron into Ellen's molds and he immediately cools them down. That night Tion sharpens the arrowheads and hopes that they work. He puts it on the arrow and he is now confident in beating the panda. He tries to buy the animal encyclopedia, but the system offers a better option for a bargain. He buys books about animals and how to tame them. The books also give tips on how to fight different animals. However, Tion finds them ridiculous. Ellen wakes up to see Tion making breakfast. Ellen insists on seeing the panda, but Tion refuses. Tion can see that Ellen is getting used to living on the island. Later, Tion goes back to the cave and fires arrows inside. He notices that the panda is not there. He climbs a tree to wait for it and it appears after some time. The system shows that it is an ancient panda. It further explains that pandas started as carnivores which humans domesticated until they turned into bamboo-loving pandas. In 2 months Tion can tame it. He plans to herd it to the point that it can't find food by itself. Tion injures it, retrieves the arrow and runs away. He kept repeating the process for many days. On the 4th day, Tion can't find the panda. It ambushed him and Tion noticed that the panda was learning. It breaks an arrow and Tion runs away. On the way back to the camp, Tion discovers poison dart frogs. He now had a solution to his problem. He captures one and plans to use its toxin for his arrows. He goes back to the camp and Ellen rushes to hug him. Tion apologizes for making her worry, but Ellen denies being worried. Ellen notices the poison frog and Tion plans to use it against the panda. The next morning Tion heats the frog until bubbles form on its skin. Tion applies the toxins to the arrowheads. Ellen gives him the grass balls he asked for and she wonders what their uses are. Tion claims they got their use. Tion later returns to the cave. Seeing the footprints, he knows that the panda is inside. He burns the grass balls and throws them in the cave. The panda gets smoked out and roars. It chases Tion and the latter plans to tire the panda out. Inside the forest, the panda looks for Tion. Tion finds a chance and fires an arrow with the toxins. However, the stone arrowheads are ineffective. Tion dodges the panda's attack. Tion fires an iron arrow this time. The toxin should take effect soon. Tion shoots again and the panda attacks him. However, the panda falls. Tion is glad that the toxins have already kicked in. He observes the panda for 3 hours and the panda wakes up. The next morning Tion prepares fish and bamboo. He goes to the cave and sees the exhausted panda. He inserts a bamboo shoot into a fish and throws it at the panda. The panda growls and notices the fish. It hastily eats and Tion shows it more food. It eats the remaining fish with bamboo shoots. Tion wonders what name fits the panda. He notices how idiotic it is to relax knowing that it is poisoned. He then decides to call the panda Sean, by which means dumbass. Night comes and Tion and Ellen eat dinner. Ellen finds out the name of the panda and she gets worried about whether to compliment his naming sense or not. Ellen puts down her food and claims that she is not in the mood. Tion guessed that it was that time of the month. Ellen tells him to be quiet. She claims it should have started days ago, but it is kind of late for her. It must be because of stress and a lack of rest. Tion then thinks about making paper. However, making a good quality product needs a lot of processes. The next morning Ellen wakes up due to the smell of urine. Tion claims it is needed to make paper and Ellen calls him crazy. Tion asks Ellen to make square-shaped meshes and they easily create some. Things suddenly go to chemistry class and Ellen is impressed that Tion is doing it on an isolated island. The two continue with more steps and processes to make sodium hydroxide. Ellen comments that it is better to work on it with electricity. Tion claims it is possible with lightning strikes. The two later collected wild grasses to make paper. The grasses are soaked in sodium hydroxide for hours to obtain pure white cellulose. Tion washes it next to the stream and washes it with clear water to get the paper powder. The powder is then put into the mesh frames. They dry the mesh with paper powder and they successfully create paper. Tion is glad that his bottom is not at ease with paper. Ellen says not to mention it during meals. She finds Tion talented at making paper. Days later Tion sees Shanbai looking comfortable. It wakes up after smelling the food that Tion brought. It looks tame now and Tion is feeding Shanbai. Domesticating Shanbai won't take long anymore. Tion leaves Shanbai and walks along the stream. He finds wild gingers and brings them back to the camp. Ellen is experiencing cramps and claims that it didn't hurt like that before. She also had heating pads and a cup of yolk with red sugar to calm her cramps. Tion then shows the ginger tea he just made. He claims he just accidentally discovered them. But Ellen can see proof that Tion made an effort to do so. Ellen drinks warm ginger tea. The next day Tion visits Shanbai again. Shanbai now considers Tion as a friend. A month later she starts feeding Shanbai with pure bamboo shoots. Seeing Tion's menacing aura, it accepts and eats the bamboo shoots. However, Shanbai is liking it. The system gives Tion points for domesticating a panda. He gets an animal training seal that he can use on Shanbai. He applies the seal to Shanbai and Tion can now see Shanbai's status using the system. That night Tion tells Ellen that she can meet Shanbai now. He brings her to Shanbai the next day and the two easily become friends. Shanbai also changed its diet to regular bamboo. Two later decide to leave the camp with Shanbai. They made a new camp in the field with the cave where Shanbai lives. Ellen enjoys looking at the starry night sky. Tion tells her to continue watching while he sleeps, but Ellen suggests sleeping together because there's no need for night watch with Shanbai with them. Tion gets surprised and asks Ellen to be his girlfriend. Ellen gets flustered as Tion approaches her. Tion teases her and Ellen gets mad. The two do some cleanup before sleeping. The next day comes and the two dig for nearby clay to make more ceramic. Tion leaves with Shanbai to retrieve the fish traps in the stream. On the third day they collect bamboo easily with Shanbai's help. However, the pet is distracted by eating. The fourth day comes and the two start to build a bamboo house kitchen. After a week they have now finished the kitchen. All the effort is worth it because Tion got so many points and bought a new book about plants. They go to the stream to take a break. Tion is happy to see Ellen having fun now after some time. Ellen steps on something. She checks her foot and discovers a rock crystal. Tion checks on it and claims that it is quartz, an ingredient in making glass. On closer inspection it is of high purity. The two go upstream to look for more resources. They later discover a tree of honey locusts and Tion claims that the pulp is an ingredient in making shampoo. Ellen hopes they can make one. However, the tree is full of thorns and Ellen doesn't want to put Tion in danger. Tion activates his power and jumps onto the tree. Ellen tells him not to put himself in danger for her. However, Tion claims he is only procuring food, making Ellen embarrassed for overthinking. Tion cuts some pulp and notices something from afar. He immediately goes down and asks Ellen if they can make shampoo now. Ellen gets embarrassed and tries to act like she is not interested. Tion then decides not to make shampoo, making Ellen flinch in shock. Ellen tells him to be decisive, but Tion wants to think about it later after going to the sugarcane field. Ellen is surprised to see a field of sugarcane. However, Tion notices that it looks like someone has grown the field. Ellen gets fascinated and Tion stops her from touching them. However, Ellen gets hurt by the sharp leaves of the sugarcane. Tion cuts down one cane and the three of them savor the sweet taste of it despite it being hard. Ellen notices a sour taste and Tion explains that it is not the right season for its harvest. Tion plans to take some cane home so he can make brown sugar. They go back home and start to process the honey locust's pulp. Tion uses the extracts to make porridge which Ellen enjoys eating. Tion later finished squeezing the sugarcane stalks. Ellen surprises him with a basket full of mushrooms. Tion pats her head. However, most of the harvest is poisonous. Ellen is discouraged that only a few are edible. Tion tells Ellen to collect the resources listed on the blackboard to create shampoo and toothpaste. Tion later proceeded to process the collected resources and in the end, he successfully created shampoo. Ellen is sad that she can only try it tomorrow because it is already dark outside. In the middle of the night, Tion wakes up hearing weird giggles thinking it was a ghost, but it was Ellen who was sleep-talking about the shampoo. As thunder rumbles in the distance, Ellen wakes up and realizes that it's also raining heavily. Shanbai, the panda, starts growling and Tion uses his skill on the panda. He wonders if it's wild pigs again and instructs Ellen to stay inside while he goes to investigate. His prediction proves correct, as it turns out to be wild pigs. Shanbai lunges at them, attacking one of the pigs before getting attacked in return. While Shanbai distracts all the pigs, Tion remains unnoticed. Shanbai rages on as he bites one of the pigs, just as another pig is about to attack him from behind. Tion protects Shanbai and defends him by using his poison arrows to attack the rest of the pigs. However, a few of the pigs notice Tion's presence. As he is spotted by the pigs, Tion quickly devises a plan to lead them away from Shanbai. He utilizes his skill, dashing away from the pigs and finding refuge in a tree. While hiding, he wonders how Shanbai is holding up. Shanbai roars fiercely, causing the pigs to scatter in fear. Tion reunites with Shan by giving him some reassuring head pats. Together they make their way back to the camp. Upon their return, Ellen expresses concern over the scratches on Shanbai's body. However, Tion reassures her that Shanbai has endured worse. They store the wild pigs in their shed for future food. Tion mentions that he will find some bamboo for Shanbai as a reward for his bravery. Continuing through the forest, Tion collects sprouts along the way. As he ventures deeper into the woods, he suddenly panics upon noticing tracks on the ground. He is certain that it couldn't be from a steamroller and decides it's best to retreat for safety. However, his panic intensifies when he hears a noise and catches sight of a titanoboa, the largest snake ever known to exist and believed to be extinct. As Tion flees, he is shocked by the sight of the titanoboa and wonders if he will encounter a dinosaur tomorrow. Seeking guidance, he turns to the system for information. Surprisingly, the system advises him to jump directly into the titanoboa's mouth, make his way down its throat and use a small knife to kill it from the inside. Tion is taken aback by the absurdity of the suggestion and continues running away, dismissing the idea entirely. In his desperate escape, he spots a slope and slides down, successfully evading the titanoboa's line of sight. However, panic sets in as Tion contemplates his next course of action. Suddenly, the titanoboa catches his scent and closes in on him. Tion instinctively uses his dagger to stab the snake, but he realizes that the dagger is too short to reach the heart. In a thrilling turn of events, he finds himself being taken for a ride by the Titanoboa. Desperate to survive, he considers staying silent in hopes of escaping. Then a foul odor reaches his nostrils and he realizes he has stumbled into the boar territory. The snake notices a boar nearby. As the Titanoboa engulfs the boar, Tion seizes the opportunity to escape, lunging away from the chaotic scene. However, the encounter ends sooner than he anticipated. He stumbles and continues running, desperately hoping to find something useful in the system to aid his survival. Tion realizes that the available rewards have changed and he regrets missing out on an option. Nonetheless, he decides to give the horse superpowers option a try. Unfortunately, the system malfunctions, granting him an animal charm feature instead. Panic sets in as he turns around and spots a group of boars, hoping they won't notice him. Tion's anxiety intensifies as the boars draw nearer, and eventually, he is spotted. In a moment of desperation he activates the superpowers bestowed upon him by the system, experiencing a sensational burn in his legs as he utilizes them to run. Worried that his legs might give out soon, he notices a pile of feces and decides to dive into it, hoping to lose his scent and evade the boars. As the day progresses, the boars begin to rest in front of Tion. He ponders why the pile of feces is warm and realizes that the released carbohydrates are preventing the heat from escaping. Slowly, he loses sensation in his arms and legs, but he fights to keep his mind alert. Fainting in this situation would spell the end for him. Since they are in the territory of the boars, Tion doesn't have to worry about other animals. However, he remains concerned about the potential reappearance of the snake. Suddenly, he spots a flame and hears someone calling his name. At first, he wonders if he's hallucinating and hearing Ellen's voice, but to his shock, he discovers that it's actually her, accompanied by Shanbai the panda. Ellen notices the herd of boars and questions why Tion is among them before scaring the boars away. Ellen inquires about Tion's well-being and he assures her that he is fine but very dirty at the moment. He advises her not to approach him. However, Tion's legs give way, but Ellen catches him just in time. Blushing, she insists that they must move quickly. They both climb onto the panda and Ellen tells Tion to hold onto her, causing them both to blush. They return to camp and Tion washes himself while Ellen does the same, playfully instructing him not to peek as she stands behind the panda. After drying off, Ellen goes to bed while Tion checks their food storage and notices signs of an attack. He wonders if there is a wild animal nearby, but it turns out that Ellen used pig fat to make a torch. Tion attempts to crouch down but feels pain in his bruised knees from using the cheetah superpower to escape the boars and Titanoboa earlier. The system rewards him with 7,000 points for successfully evading the Titanoboa. Tion offers Ellen some porridge but she is still asleep. He is shocked that Ellen saved him and never expected her to do so. As they both rest and wake up later to eat, Tion informs her that the tracks she saw belonged to a Titanoboa, which frightens her. She wonders if they need to relocate from their hideout. Tion assures her that if they stick to the forest edge while walking, they will be safe. He also expresses his gratitude for her saving him, which brings a smile to Ellen's face. Later in the day, Tion begins slicing the meat in preparation. They set it up on the smoking rack as Ellen asks if it's safe to leave the meat outside. Tion explains that they have no other space available. The following day, Ellen screams Tion's name, informing him that their bacon has disappeared. Shocked, Tion wonders what could have stolen the meat, especially since Shanbai didn't react to it. He prepares to guard the meat that night and catch the culprit. As he rests during the day to prepare for the night shift, Ellen offers him some mint tea, urging him to quickly figure out the situation before they face serious trouble. As dawn approaches, the thief has yet to make an appearance. Suddenly Tion spots a golden eagle swooping down towards the meat. He attempts to protect the meat but is unsuccessful. Later in the day, Tion informs Ellen that the thief is a golden eagle. He shares his plan to trap and tame the eagle, explaining that they need to keep things normal and hang the meat outside so the eagle won't suspect anything. Tion prepares a basic trap but when they test it, it doesn't seem to work. Determined, Tion exerts more force on the trap, causing the bamboo shoot to smack him in the face. He then instructs Shanbai to test the trap, as the panda's thick skin will protect him. As Shanbai pushes on the trap, it breaks, making Tion realize that he needs to make a few more adjustments before it's ready. Later in the day, as Ellen wakes up from her nap, she questions whether Tion is certain the eagle will return. Suddenly, the eagle appears above them. As the eagle swoops down toward the trap, the rope manages to catch onto its leg. Ellen wonders why Tion isn't approaching the trapped eagle, and he explains that it's not the right time yet. The golden eagle has a deadly beak, and if they get too close, it will attack them. So they decide to wait until the eagle becomes exhausted. They discuss what to name it, and Tion suggests the name Desert Eagle. The eagle looks like it doesn't like the name Sand Eagle. However, Tion thinks otherwise. Ellen wonders how they can domesticate the eagle. Tion then asks if Ellen knows what a night owl is. Ellen explains that staying up all night is unhealthy. Tion suggests taking turns watching the eagle and making it awake all the time until it gets tamed within the week. He tells Ellen to keep watch during the day while he does the night shift. The afternoon of day 1 comes, and the eagle tries to escape. However, Ellen is keeping watch, so it won't have a chance to escape. Day 2's night comes, and Tion finishes creating a toothbrush during his night shift. He tries to ask the eagle's opinion, but it ignores him. Day 3 comes, and the eagle is tired. Shanbai also helps keep it awake while Ellen is making a shirt for Tion. Day 4 night comes, and Tion is cooking glue. He smacks Shanbai for neglecting his task. Shanbai gets mad at the eagle instead. Day 5's morning comes, and look at this dead, tired eagle. It gawks out loud out of frustration. Tion tells it to surrender already. The eagle then willingly surrenders to Tion. Using the pet seal, Tion tames the eagle and successfully domesticates it. He then sees its memories and discovers that there is a chick back in its nest. The eagle recovers its health, and Ellen is surprised to see it domesticated already. Tion claims that the eagle has a child. Ellen wonders how he knew, but Tion claims it was just a hunch. It is also the eagle's mating season in the spring. Ellen then suggests raising the young eagles. Tion agrees and tells her that he will set out the next day. The eagle lands on Tion's arm protector, and Ellen is fascinated by how cool the sight is. However, the eagle doesn't like Ellen yet. She cries and wonders why it behaved differently toward her when the two of them domesticated it. She walks out telling them to watch her. Just then, the eagle notices something. It walks like a chicken after seeing the fish on Ellen's hands. Tion and Ellen took the day off to refresh their energy. They then set out to look for the young eagle in the mountains. After some walking, they set up camp because it was getting dark outside. During dinner, Ellen wonders if they can find the young eagle. The forest is too wide, and it might take them some time. Seeing that the forest is wide, Tion wonders if it stretches more and if the island is really an undiscovered island. Ellen wonders what he was thinking, and Tion makes up a story of wild animals attacking them during the night. The group later sleeps, and in the middle of the night Tion senses something. Ellen also wakes up and notices Shanbai on guard. From the nearby bushes, wolves come out to attack them. Tion tells Ellen not to panic because Shanbai is with them. Shanbai roars at them, but Tion reminds him not to be aggressive. Tion assesses the situation and says that if Shanbai loses, he and Ellen will be attacked for sure. Just when Tion thought that they were really unfortunate, the wolves got scared of the nearby flame. Tion totally forgot about wild animals being scared of fire and asked Ellen to light up a torch. He tells her to move forward. Tion throws his torch and scares off the wolves a bit. He orders Shanbai to attack. Shanbai then scares off the wolves. Knowing the wolves' deviousness, Tion claims that the wolves might still be nearby. The morning comes, and the group hurriedly gets out of the forest. They can see the eagle acting up. It seems like they are nearing their destination. The group climbs up the mountains and Ellen feels like giving up. Tion lets Ellen rest while he looks for the young eagle. He climbed the mountain and almost fell. He reaches the top and gasps for air. He enjoys the scene as if he is on top of a skyscraper. He then notices a volcano where plants are growing along the foothills. He plans to look for resources in that area later. The eagle then gets his attention after Tion forgets their initial purpose. Tion then drops a rope on a steep hill to let the baby eagle perch on it. Using the pet seal, Tion communicates with the eagle, and it relays the instructions to the baby eagle. Tion was able to pull up the baby eagle. The two birds reunite. Tion immediately grabs the bird and brings it down with him until they reach the bottom. He sighs as Tion swears not to do some climbing again. He then looks for Ellen. Tion discovers writings on the ground that Ellen left to look for resources. The weather gets bad and Ellen arrives while riding Sean by. Tion suggests moving fast because the weather might cause landslides. Just then, Ellen notices something. An airplane passes by. This concludes the latest chapter, and we will be continuing it from here in the next episode.